Hey folks, today's Wednesday, July 1st, 2026, coming up on Roland Martin Unfiltered, streaming on the Black Star Network. I'm here at new Mount Olive Baptist Church in Fort Lauderdale, where the We the People discussion will be taking place in about 30 minutes. I'll be on that panel. We'll be streaming it live right here on the Black Star Network. Republicans continue to go put House members on vacation. Congressman Hank Johnson of Georgia will join us to talk about why Republicans are failing in their agenda for this country. Also, Fairfax County schools face ongoing challenges with racial, disability, and gender discrimination, prompting the Fairfax County NAACP to demand stronger oversight. We'll be joined by one of their leaders. Lots to talk about as we cover this impending midterm elections that will determine the future course of this country. It's time to bring the funk. I'm Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Let's go.
He's got it. Whatever the miss, he's on it. Whatever it is, he's got the scoop, the fact, the find. And when it breaks, he's right on time and it's rolling. Best believe he's knowing. Putting it down from sports to news to politics. With entertainment just for kicks, he's rolling. It's on go, y'all. It's Roland Martin, yeah. Rolling with Roland now. He's funk, he's fresh, he's real, the best, you know he's Roland Martin now. Martin.
We are live here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida at New Mount Olive Baptist Church, where the second We the People conversation will be taking place. Earlier this month, or last month, I was actually in Dallas for a conversation. So as you see, people are already gathering here for this conversation. Former Los Angeles Lakers great Norm Nixon is going to be moderating the conversation. I will be on the panel, and so that'll be starting in less than 30 minutes. And so we'll be streaming that, of course, right here on the Black Star Network. Midterm elections are coming up, and it's a crucial time when it comes to the agenda for Black America. And what we are seeing is an anti-Black agenda from today's MAGA Republican Party. And led by in the House by Speaker Mike Johnson. They continue to assault African Americans in every particular area. Joining us right now is Congressman Hank Johnson of Georgia. Congressman, glad to have you back on Roland Martin Unfiltered. I have been making this point since last year that this is an effort to defund Black America. And when you look at what this administration is doing, when you look at what these Republicans in the House and the Senate are doing, it is an absolute attack on Black America.
Yeah, they are celebrating their 1-year anniversary of the Big Ugly Bill this week. That bill knocks millions of people off of the health care rolls, the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, tax premiums, tax credits that they cut. And so insurance is less affordable now. 24 million, well, not 24 million. About 10 million people have lost their insurance under Obamacare. They've cut Medicaid and Medicare by the tune of about $1 trillion. They've cut SNAP benefits. And of course, it's not just Black people who reap those benefits. It's white people also, but disproportionately, they're trying to hurt Black people economically. They want us to die. And then on top of that, they're trying to do everything they can in the United States Supreme Court to keep us from voting. They want to be able to suppress our votes at will. And they're giving the executive the power to fire employees, all federal employees, about 3 million federal employees that are now subject to being fired at will. If they don't do what Trump tells them to do, they are now subject to being fired. This is at the hand of the United States Supreme Court, which the Republican Party built to take action and do things judicially that they can't do legislatively. So we are seeing the court destroying our democracy and establishing or reestablishing or establishing in its absence a plutocracy where rich people rule the day, and all of the black people, all of the people of color get crumbs off the table.
Well, on that particular point, you talk about the loss of health care. When we begin to break down losses in so many areas, it also, of course, we look at what's happening with black farmers, look at what's happening in education, how they're removing the civil rights oversight from the Department of Education, going to other areas. And so what we are seeing is just completely mayhem coming from this administration, and they are attacking anything. They're looking at grants. They're looking at even corporations that fund black initiatives. They're targeting those things as well. And so we are seeing black America impacted. Loss of jobs, nonprofits are being impacted. Black contracts in the federal government are down as well. This is an all-out assault on black folks.
Yes, it is. We have lost so many jobs. You know, Trump used to talk about how good he had been to black folks in terms of job creation. It was lies then, but now we're losing jobs under Trump. Instead of him creating jobs or his administration creating jobs, they're losing jobs, and black folks are disproportionately losing those jobs. And you've got and correct, it's a GOP war on black America. And if we don't stand up and fight back, we're going to be back in the cotton fields. And when I talk about fighting back, I'm not talking about taking up arms. I'm talking about taking it to the streets in protest, and also by exercising our precious right to vote. We're going to have to get out in November and vote, like John Lewis said, like our lives depend on it, because our lives do depend on it this time. If we allow Republicans to remain in control of the House and of the Senate, of both of those branches of the legislature, then we're in for an expedited Trump movement to win the war on black America. I mean, we are not far from having this democracy dismantled with no rights to people, black and white. But we all know that when white folks, when society catches a cold, black folks catch pneumonia. We know that it's going to be worse. Even the poorest white will feel that, and does feel to this day, many of them, that they're better than the most accomplished black person. In fact, they resent folks like Barack Obama because they believe that he was given a hand up, he was given something, he was put in the line ahead of them. And so, you know, we have so much, and he was able to excel at their expense. And so we have so much ignorance that is being perpetuated by algorithms online and messaging going at people, causing them to even act against their own economic interest. I mean, Trump has made $2 billion this year. Year isn't even over with, and yet, you know, prices for gas, for energy, for groceries, for rent, for house notes, all of the essentials that regular, ordinary people need, black and white, prices going up, life is becoming less affordable, it's getting very tight. People are just making it day to day, trying to choose between putting food on the table or gas in the car. You know, I mean, those are decisions that people are making, or whether or not to buy food and leave the medicine on the counter at the pharmacy because you can't afford both. So many people are suffering that way, but meanwhile they are voting. They continue to be in the pocketbook, in the trance of Donald Trump, who's soaking them all the way to the bank. He's getting richer, they're getting poorer, and they still support it. to do to get our folks out to lead the way.
So last question for you, and that is, you last night in Colorado, you had an incumbent Democrat lose to Democrat Social of America, and you got all these Democrats who are up in arms. And what I keep saying is, you're focused on the wrong thing. What you should be focusing on, what are these people saying that is attracting voters? Two, you should be saying, how are they organizing and mobilizing and motivating their voters to turn out? At the end of the day, listen, if you're a Democrat, you shouldn't care how you get to 218, because you need 218 in order to take control of the House and in order for Hakeem Jeffries, the Democrat leader, to become Speaker of the House. And so what are you saying to your fellow Democrats who are angry and upset that the incumbents are losing? I've made the point. No seat is guaranteed. No one owns a seat. Your job is to run for it. Your job is to organize and mobilize. But I think in this moment, what Democrats should be saying is, how are these folks speaking to their voters, and how are they getting them to turn out? At the end of the day, you need turnout in November in order to win.
Well, a lot of people, particularly the younger that they get, are so upset about the genocide that has been perpetuated and perpetrated against the Palestinian people by the Israeli government. And they don't want their tax dollars going to fund genocide. And so that's been a powerful lever that people who call themselves Democratic Socialists of America, that's one of the things that they have been united about, is an end to the genocide in Gaza. And they're also about Medicare for all. They are not communists. They just want to see in a prosperous America, they want to see a sharing of the fruits of their labor. They understand that their labor is productive. Productivity rates are through the roof, but yet wages remain stagnant, and the rich get richer. The super billionaires get more billions. We even now have a trillionaire. So the money is being concentrated at the top. The Democratic Socialists of America are arguing and advocating for policies that spread the wealth that is being generated among those who are actually working to generate that wealth. And so they're working for a fairer tax code, one where the rich have to pay their fair share of the tax code. Look at the policies that that they are advocating. These are policies that are popular for people, black and white. And so people don't want to see business as usual. They want to see dramatic change. They want a change in our United States Supreme Court. They want court reform. They want term limits on Supreme Court justices. They want to expand the court to get rid of this extreme right-wing, hyper-partisan Supreme Court. They want to see a court with that binds itself to a code of ethics just like everyone else. And so when you talk in ways that attract people, people then are motivated to vote. And so that's why I have to applaud those who, the incoming, of course, I love my dear colleagues who won't be coming back next year, but I'm looking forward also to these new, fresh voices coming in to help move us in a progressive way that helps people survive in this rapidly becoming plutocracy.
All right. Congressman Hank Johnson of Georgia, we surely appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, folks, we told you about what's happening in Fairfax County, where the NAACP is demanding more accountability when it comes to issues dealing with race as well with disability. And so let's quickly go to our next guest, Mira Donaldson. Mira Donaldson joins us right now, first Vice President of the Fairfax County NAACP. Mira, glad to have you here. Walk us through what exactly discrimination are y'all I'm sorry. Evelyn Spain joins us right now. Evelyn Spain, First Vice President, Fairfax County NAACP. Evelyn, walk us through what are y'all alleging is taking place in Fairfax County?
Thank you, Mr. Martin. But first, before I begin, I want to express my First President's condolences. She cannot join. She is on her way out of town. What we are experiencing here in Fairfax County at a couple of the public schools is anti-Black bias and inequitable treatment of our Black children who are currently enrolled in middle school and high school throughout Fairfax County.
So what exactly? Okay, so what are they actually facing? What are they dealing with?
Okay, so what we're dealing with, thank you for the question. What we're dealing with is we've had a parent to come in and express to us the discrimination that her son has experienced. He's had water poured on his head. He's had a banana handed to him and called a monkey. He's been called the N-word out loud repeatedly in front of staff. And according to the parent, the staff did nothing to reprimand those students who were harassing him or discriminated against him. And this has happened.
Evelyn, is this one student? Multiple students? Are you only getting
students.
One complaint from a parent, or are they multiple?
There are multiple occurrences, but that was just one specific experience from one parent. But there have been multiple occasions of students who have come forth and expressed that they have been experiencing anti-Black bias. Yes.
So have y'all been in touch with the school board president, school board members? What conversations have been taking place?
So thank you for that. We had a forum with the superintendent of Fairfax County Public Schools. We are working in collaboration with the schools, with NAACP. There is a website that parents can go to there's an online program that they can reach out to and express the concerns that they have. But NAACP, we want to be able to work collectively, collaboratively with them to make sure that these concerns, issues that the parents and students are bringing forth are being addressed on a timely basis.
All right, then. We'll certainly keep us abreast of what takes place there in Fairfax County. Evelyn, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Mr. Martin. Thank you.
All right, folks, we're going to go to break. We come back. We'll be back here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, for this We the People conversation. We're talking about what's happening in this country today. We're talking about voting rights. We're talking about civil rights. We're talking about what's happening with African Americans and what is going to be our focus in this midterm elections. This is a huge, important state. Democrats are trying to regain their footing here. You've got a critical gubernatorial election. You have Ron DeSantis, who is term limited. And so that's the case. U.S. Senate race. And so Florida is one of those crucial states Democrats are looking to retake control of the Senate. You also, of course, have the gerrymandering here, a decimated Black power here. And so we'll be discussing that as well. So lots to break down as we broadcasting live here from New Mount Olive here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. You're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. All right, folks, let me tell you about Chapter. Now, if you're on Medicare or about to be, the system is not set up to work for you. Too much fine print, too many plans, and too many people making money off of your confusion. And look, we're used to this. We're no strangers to systems that don't have our best interests at heart. But we don't have to accept it when it comes to Medicare. That's why I'm telling you about Chapter. Their advisors are independent and honest. In fact, they're the only Medicare advisors that compare every plan nationwide. And they're focused on one thing: what works for you. If there's a better plan out there, they'll find it. If you're already in the right one, they'll tell you that too. There are no games. Just last year, people who switched with Chapter saved an average of $1,100. It's 20 minutes and a real person. It's completely free. My parents actually have already called. My mom sent me a text. Folks, give Chapter a call at 724-264-8281, 724-264-8281, and connect with someone you can trust. Folks, these are the kind of services that we need for our audience here at Roland Martin Unfiltered and the Black Star Network. So call Chapter right now, 724-264-8281.
With medicine and science under attack, I want to keep you and your family informed and healthy. I'm Dr. Ebony Hilton, and I knew at the age of 8 that I wanted to be a doctor. So I studied hard and became the first African-American female anesthesiologist hired at the Medical University of South Carolina since its opening in 1824. And I always say I was made into a doctor, but I was born to be a mom. And as a new mom, wife, sister, daughter, and friend, I understand how frightening a medical crisis can be. I care for individuals on some of the worst days of their lives, and it's my mission to provide you with a safe space to gain clarity on issues affecting your mind, body, and soul. I recognize that there are health disparities, particularly as it pertains to race, and I want to help bridge the gap between you and your healthcare providers. Join me every Thursday for Second Opinion on the Black Star Network, where each week I'll invite experts from various medical fields to share the latest health news. We'll discuss topics such as the vaccine debate, mental and sexual health, medical bias, infertility, menopause, andropause, nutrition, and aging. Together with my medical colleagues, we aim to provide you with a second opinion. Don't miss it, Thursdays only on the Black Star Network.
Hey y'all, welcome to The Other Side of Change, only on the Black Star Network and hosted by myself, Bria Baker, and my good sis, Jamira Burley. We are just two millennial women tackling everything at the intersection of politics, gender, and pop culture.
And we don't just settle for commentary. This is about solution-driven dialogue to get us to the world as it could be and not just as it is.
Watch us on the Black Star Network, so tune in to The Other Side of Change.
On a next, A Balanced Life with me, Dr. Jackie, a relationship that we have to have. We're often afraid of it and don't like to talk about it. That's right, we're talking about our relationship with money. And here's the thing, our relationship with money oftentimes determines whether we have it or not. Balancing your relationship with your pocketbook, that's next on A Balanced Life with me, Dr. Jackie, here at Black Star Network.
A decade of love, joy, and power. Black Voters Matter is 10 years old, and we are just getting started. This is love with a purpose. This is Black joy in motion. This is unstoppable power. Across campuses, neighborhoods, and back roads. Let's go! We show up, not just to vote, but to be seen, to be heard, to belong. We ride together. We organize together. We remind each other that our voices matter because they always have. Black Voters Matter is about more than ballots. It's about housing and healthcare, clean water and living wages, education, reproductive freedom, and dignity. It's about turning pain into action, turning belief into movement, turning community into power. We don't wait to be invited. We bring the energy. We bring the love. We bring the people. Because when Black communities come together, we don't just survive, we thrive. This is how change happens. This is how history moves. We organize, we build, we win.
It's your boy Earthquake, giving Roland Martin something to do, because he don't know what to do. He from Texas. Ain't his fault.
That was amazing. Y'all give it up again for the voices of Luke.
Also, I need y'all to give it up for Brother Kenny Smith, the Director of Celebrative Arts here at the New Mount Olive. Listen, I am blessed, extremely excited, and honored to be able to bring to you our first speaker, a deeply committed man of God, and my brother, Dr. Marcus C. Davidson. Y'all give it up. That's all I can get for Doc. And First Lady of Marcus Davidson.
Good evening. Good evening. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Amen. Amen.
How good the Lord is. I want to take a moment to say thank you for being here tonight. Indeed, it is a blessing and a privilege. I want to take a moment to thank the listeners who are watching the Roland Martin show right now. We're immensely grateful for your virtual presence, but I am grateful for you who are physically in the room tonight. And let's give it up for the AIDS Healthcare Foundation, all of their team, their CEO, their leadership. We are grateful for our own Dr. Osgood and Modco for making this a possibility. We believe in community, and I wanted Mrs. Davis and my wife to come up because though you see all of this happening, she's been the staff liaison along with our assistant pastor, specifically her, because I heard about it. I was like, oh, that's great, but that's about all I knew, that it was great, that was on its way. So it's good to have great people around you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to our choir for blessing us tonight. So I look forward to the conversation and the times in which we're living. We need to have these types of conversations to help us really navigate the space. We're people of change. We're people that make a difference. And I am thankful for you being here tonight so that you too can be a part of the change and make a difference. God bless you. I love you. And there's absolutely nothing you can do about it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Give it again, up again for Dr. Davidson and First Lady of Dr. Davidson. Now, as I said earlier tonight, it's not about the conversation or the concert. It's about showing up for ourselves. And we got some other people that showed up for us. So I'm gonna actually grab my phone, make sure I don't get none of this guy's accolades wrong. Because if I do, it's a problem. I got to see Dr. Osgood later. So listen, not only is he a champion on and off the court, he's a philanthropist, he's a community activist, and he's an amazing brother. Mr. Norm Nixon is going to take you through the rest of the program. He's taking us to the next stage. He's going to engage the panelists. I'd like to bring him to the stage right now. Norm Nixon. Y'all give it up again for Norm.
Good evening, a late afternoon. He took out his phone so he wouldn't mess up none of my accolades, so I love that great introduction right there. You didn't forget anything. I've been going around the country for this last year with AIDS Healthcare Foundation, and I just want to say again, thank you, because they do so much in the community. They host things like this, they're advocates, they provide housing, food, you name it, they do it, medicine. They're in communities that need the help. So again, I want to thank the AIDS Healthcare Foundation, Ms. Anita and your whole crew here. I want to thank Mount Olive Baptist Church for hosting this here. And Reverend did something that was really interesting. You know, he brought his wife up first and foremost. Like they say, happy wife, happy life. So I live by that, and most of you guys know my wife, Miss Debbie Allen. So I got a fire one at the house too, man. So today we're just going to have a conversation. We just think these type of conversations are just important for us to have. And it's interesting that these things are done in churches. We've done them in churches around the city because it all started in churches. Advocacy started in churches. This is where all our leaders came from. If you want to get down to music, all our singers came out of the church. This was the place where we could meet. It was a safe haven. It was a place that you can come to, and you know, regardless of what's going on in your life, you have a place where you can go where you know someone is going to reach out and help you regardless of what your situation is. I say it all the time. I'm in California now. I'm not regular in the church there, but I know when I go home, my cousins drive the church buses. My stepfather, I knew when he was sick, he was going to get hot meals 2 or 3 times a week. They were going to come check on him. They was going to make sure he was all right. And that's what churches are. And I think it's important now that we get back to this. It's interesting that this is where we are right now. We're back in churches because it all started here. So tonight we're going to just have a conversation. These things have been learning experiences for me as well. Every time I do one, I learn so much about voting rights and advocacy. And so I'm going to bring up a panel of people, and we're just going to have a conversation that I think we all need to hear. It's great to share information. Information is power. Information is power. So you're going to hear a lot of stuff today, a lot of information, but it's just not about hearing this information. It's about what you do after you get this information. Or you're going to become an advocate, or you're going to do something. So it's about that. So I'm going to bring this panel up. And really, I'm just going to let it go and see where it goes organically. I don't have to do anything because we got some people that's going to talk to you, and I don't think I have to do very much, which is great for me. I can listen as well. So the first person I'll bring up is Miss Tracy Jones. All of you should know her. Tracy is the Southern Bureau Chief, AHF. She's been here for many years in this community, and as I said, food drives, clothing, conversations. If you need help, this is a place you can go get help, and Tracy Spearhead and all that right here in your city. I went by the office today, and it was incredible to see the work that they do. The second person I'll bring up is somebody that really don't need an introduction. He might be somewhere filming right now because you know you guys are going to be on this show at some time. I know you've seen Roland Martin out here. A gentleman that speaks truth to power all the time. A Peabody Award winner and host Roland Jones Unfiltered. So we got Roland. And the last person I'm going to bring up on this stage is someone I've just been sitting in the back talking to for the last 45 minutes. And I'm already in love with. I love her. And I know you guys have someone that's representing you in the State House and represent your church. I'd like to bring up Senator Dr. Come on up here. Rosalie Osgood. Someone that grew up right here in this community. And it's been interesting to me because I ran into some other guys around here today because I didn't realize they watched the Lakers here in Fort Lauderdale. I ran into a brother that works here that talked about it, and he wore my number. He was a guy that said he got caught out in these streets, didn't really pursue his basketball dreams, but he turned his life around. And I saw him here with some of your kids today. God works in mysterious ways, right? Good ways, not mysterious. We just say good ways. So I'm going to try to get this conversation started. Get my stuff out of the way. We'll start this off. I'll let Miss Tracy start it off because she's your local person, and I'll just let Tracy just talk a little bit about advocacy, about getting kids involved, and what do you see as some of the important things that our children need to talk about and understand because you deal with your son, all his friends, all the time. So I'll let you get this conversation started.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you all for having us, Pastor and First Lady. We couldn't be any more appreciative. It's place is beautiful. So we're really grateful to be here. I first have to make sure that I mention the importance. I'm going to answer your question, Nora, but the importance of women in this movement. As I look around this room and I look at Dr. Osgood and I look at my board chair, Dr. Curley, who's here in the audience with me, and the female leadership, Marissa Nachavi and Anita Castillo, powerful women that are doing amazing work. First of all the women in the audience, raise your hand up, raise your hand up. Keep your hand up if you voted in the last election.
Right.
We are the backbone of elections for the democracy of this country. And that said, now we have a charge to make sure that our children, our nieces, our nephews, our husbands get out and vote. As Norm was mentioning, I'm so passionate about this election because I think this is, and I'm sure Mr. Martin or echo this along with the senator, this is the most important one of our lives. This is the most important one of our lives. I mean, this is even more important than Obama because they are literally trying to drag us back. And the key to this election, in my opinion, humble as it may be, is going to be our young people. We have got to energize them. And what Norm is speaking of, actually he will hate that I say that, my son is in the audience. I talk to him on a regular basis as well as his friends about what is it going to take to get y'all to the polls? What is it going to take to make sure that you register? Because we have got to get them to realize that this is the election that makes or breaks their lives for the next 10 years. So that is the conversation that we're going to infuse through the rest of this conversation. And I'm prayerful that we're going to hear from the young people in the room when the question and answer period comes up. Tell us what you need so that we can make sure that we provide it so you can get there.
Thank you. All right. Dr. Oscar, we were talking back. I'm from Georgia, so you know, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, we're all the same. We go through the same thing. We talked about, what is it, Amendment 4, about felons having an opportunity to vote. So they gave them the right to vote. They took the right back from them. And so what's important for this audience to know about getting out to vote? And just tell us some of the things historically that have happened in Florida and why it's important to have someone like you represent them in the Senate.
So in Florida, it continues to be an attack on voting rights for Black people. When we look at Amendment 4, where we overwhelmingly voted to have rights restored automatically for people that had felony convictions, what the state legislators did is they came back and they put in all these barriers that they had to pay these fees and pay these fines first. They continue to use different measures to do these different poll taxes. In the last legislative session in 2025, Florida passed its own SAVE Act. Trump didn't get it passed in D.C., but we passed it in Florida. So now when you go to get your driver's license updated, it expires, it changes your driver's license number, you got to go to the supervisor of election to make sure it matches. It just continues to be barrier after barrier. We see this major attack on vote by mail. And I'm trying to figure out, in 2020, we touted how Florida was the best with vote by mail ballots. And all of a sudden, it's a bad thing now. So we have a lot of these tricks and games to make us think things that we have been successful at, we have been winning, are bad. If you run for office, any elected official in here will tell you, when those ballots drop at 7 o'clock, when the supervisor of election drops those vote by mail ballots, you know if you're winning or sweating bullets. Because if you're far enough ahead, nobody can catch up with the vote by mail ballots. If you're struggling, then you got a long night. So we have to be smart. That's why I love this church, because we continue to routinely have different forums to educate the voters on the budget, the different laws, the different things that are going on. Our pastor has a vision and a commitment for social justice. We are a liberation theology church. So our faith says that we have to fight against injustice, not only in church, but in the community as well. And we just have constant bad laws coming forth in Florida where we have a supermajority on the other side to make it very hard and difficult for people of color to vote.
Yeah, thank you. Well, they have that majority in Washington, D.C. as well. So, Roland, talk about where all of this started, like Shelby and Holder, and historically where it all started and how it's affecting what's happening today.
Well, actually started before that, so certainly glad to be here, glad to see everyone here. If you understand the political dynamics, what we have to recognize is that if you take the 64 Civil Rights Act, 65 Voting Rights Act, 68 Fair Housing Act, that was really the first time America practiced democracy. What took place before that, that wasn't democracy. But ever since then, there were forces that were absolutely angry that that happened. And so when you look at the Federalist Society, when you look at the Heritage Foundation, all of those organizations were born out of their anger at the Supreme Court decision in Brown versus Board of Education 1 and 2. And then they were angry with those federal judges that enforced Brown versus Board of Education. So their strategy was, we need to seize the courts. We have to understand the math. The last time a Democrat president appointed a Chief Justice of the U.S. Supreme Court was 1946. That was a year before my parents were born. So I need us to understand. So my parents are 79. In their lifetime, a Democratic president has never appointed a Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. If you look at our lifetime and you look at who has controlled the court, and understand, we often talk about that there are 3 branches of government and they're co-equal. That's simply not true. The Supreme Court is the final arbiter. And we've been losing, and when we lose at the ballot box, we lose at the State House, we lose in the U.S. Capitol, and then people are upset because what they're locking in, they are locking in power and control for the next 50 to 100 years. In my book, White Fear, I called this in 2009. And I just got to be honest, a lot of our people were so excited to see a black president and a black first family, but when the inauguration parade was over, we stayed and everybody else left. And we were just so hyped and excited without realizing that that election caused them to say, oh, the browning of America is really happening. No, we're not going to have this. And they have been hell-bent to destroy black America, and there is an absolute attack on black America to defund black America, and black America has to wake up.
Well, we can say the answer to Obama was Trump and he started the Tea Party. But you had something to say about that?
So to add what Roland was saying, in Florida, we are doing even more egregious things because if you all remember in 2010, we passed the Fair District Act that clearly says that we cannot gerrymander districts. We can't draw districts to favor a political party or an incumbent. We can't dilute votes of minorities. And we just had redistricting, and we violated our own constitutional amendment in Florida. When I got elected first to the Senate, I was elected to Senate District 33. Redistricting had just happened. It changed to Senate District 32. Nobody sounded the alarm because it wasn't big and obvious. But what they did is they took out 10% of the black people in Pompano and cracked them into another district that diluted their voting power. So where districts were 50% black, they're borderlining now 40%, and they just keep chipping away and chipping away and chipping away. So we're not even following our own constitution. I'm hoping some of these lawyers out there listening tonight start filing some more lawsuits against the state.
But the problem is you can file lawsuits, but when you have to go before the very court, the only way, guys, this is not hard. The only way to stop this assault is at the ballot box. There is no other way. You can't, again, remember, our civil rights were a result of federal legislation. I'm sorry, federal rulings, because they were making those based upon the Constitution. And so they said, oh, we saw what happened. And so they said, we're going to now flood the system with conservative federal judges to rule against those very things. But what they cannot control, they can't control voting. They can't control turnout. And so, yes, are they putting in obstacles? 100%. Do they want to make it harder? Yes. Paul Weyrich, who's a founder of the Heritage Foundation, a founder of Moral Majority, gave a speech in Dallas in 1981 when he said, and we played the clip on my show numerous times, we don't want everyone to vote. Republicans in America are on the record as saying, if everyone votes, we lose. So that's why they want to restrict mail-in voting, drop boxes. They want to change polling locations. They want voter ID. And so although you have all of these obstacles, what this generation has to decide is, does this generation have the same intestinal fortitude as the previous one? When I hear, and again, this is no attack on young people, I'm just stating fact. When I hear folk today say, we're not our ancestors, I say, you're right, you're not.
All right. I'm gonna give it back to Tracy for a minute, because Tracy, you have your hand and pulse on the young people. Part of that's true, but there's some debate about what some of the young people. Why are some of the young people not participating in the process, or what are they feeling?
It has been a very interesting conversation with 18-year-olds, primarily 18-year-olds, some a little bit younger. And they say, surprisingly, I am going to vote, but they're voting for something. You have to give them something to vote for. One person said, I'm voting because my ancestors couldn't. I'm voting because my family members can't. Like, you got to give them a reason. It is not enough to say to them, you should do this because it's for your future. They ain't got time to worry about their future. Their future is right now. So you need to appeal to what they care about now. They say, when you say, well, why aren't you going to vote? They're like, it don't make no difference. Show me where it makes a difference. And you got to be able to have an answer on ready. They even gave them to you. Y'all got to have an answer on ready. Don't just say, you supposed to. I'm supposed to do a lot of stuff. Give me an answer. Give me a reason. Give me an issue. Give me somebody young. They tell me, I'm so sick of y'all old farts coming and sitting. Get up and give it to somebody else. Well, we need them to run. But then we persecute them when these young people try to run. You pull out a video from when they were 16 years old, smoking a joint or whatever. They want to know that you got their back. If they're going to be on local elections, let's not persecute them. Protect them. Put fences around them. Because like Roland said, our ancestors were not saints. They just believed in what was important. Let's get this done.
But understand this, Norm. If you look at the historical data is very simple. 65 plus has always voted at a higher rate than any other group. The second group is 55 to 64. The third group is 45 to 54. The further you go down, you're going to see voting participation drop. That's just, that is historical data going back 5-6 decades. But the reason we have to reverse that is because what we have to do is explain to folks that a decision that is made today has multi-generational impact. And so when I hear, I remember during the George Floyd protest, there was a brother who said, I'm going to protest, but politics, that ain't going to change nothing, so I'm going to go out here and protest. Protesting and not voting means you went for a walk. it literally has zero impact. And to Tracy's point, what we have to do is we have to be connecting the dots. We also have to understand language. Terrence Woodbury of Hit Strategies does a lot of public opinion research where he studies and they call focus groups. We have to understand language and how language and what you say and what someone hears. His data show, and we had an item on the show, and this was in 20 and 22, that when you use the phrase voter suppression, a voter 18 to 35 immediately thinks civil rights movement. Now, that may sound crazy, but that's what they hear. Now, when you say, though, that they are closing polling locations, they identify with that. So part of this thing is, what language do we use? When I travel this country and I run into people in airports and convenience stores and on the street, and to the point when somebody says, man, this stuff is crazy, I don't know what's going on. This brother Quentin, who was helping me get my rental car at the Miami airport, he's like, man, what do we do? I always do this here. Give me what are the three most important things you care about? And then when they say that, when they say, man, those folks in D.C., that's not impacted my life, then I'm going to connect public policy to the three things they said to D.C., Florida State House, county, city, school board. And so we have to do that because most people say, man, I ain't got no time, government has no impact, they don't mean nothing in my life, without realizing that there literally is nothing in our lives that government does not touch. This church could not open unless it passed a building inspection. That's government. You can walk through so many things. It's government. There are speed bumps on the street. You can't just walk outside and pour some concrete because you tired of folks speeding up and down your street. Government gives you the authority to even put up a speed bump, a stoplight, a stop sign, a crossing guard. And so we have to make it plain to people. Joe Madison, my dear brother, God rest his soul, he would always say, we got to put it where the goats can get it. And we got to make it that plain. I think what we often do is we're speaking at 30,000 feet and not where the goats can get it. But we got to also make it personal to understand that if you do not exercise your ballot, you exercise your vote, trust me, somebody else will.
Okay. Senator, takes to a question. Why is it important to vote down ballot? A lot of us look at federal elections, we don't think about city council, who's running our libraries, just local county positions. And the second thing I want you to touch on is, what is the church doing to engage the younger people and bring them in to help them understand why it's important for them to be involved in the process?
So it's important to vote down ballot because you have the federal government, they give a lot of funding to the state. We give some of it to the cities when we want to from the state. And then the cities make decisions as to how they use it in our communities. So we have this other problem now in Broward County where so many people are registered NPA, which means they don't vote in the primary election. A lot of our school board races, our city races, there are a lot of races that are determined in the primary election. So in 2020 in Broward, there was a power shift in Broward. We came out of the 2020 election with the black sheriff, black supervisor of election, black public defender, black state attorney, black clerk of court. And we've been under attack ever since then. When we have our city commission meetings, we show up reactively. We don't understand the budget. We don't understand how money is moving. It's our money. But we don't engage to participate. And then people come in, they take pictures with us. We get in the lounge, they talk about it, how gullible we are for pictures. And then they go vote and make our life a nightmare. So we can't afford to just vote top ballot. We have to vote in every election down the ballot. So our church has a social justice movement. We continue to do workshops and information. We have a summer camp that has a civic component that we're trying to engage young people. We often try to find young people. I'm a major advocate for young people running for political office, and I try to help them as much as I can to go talk to other young people. But I think a lot of it is misinformation. I don't think we as elected officials over the years have done a good enough job explaining the process and how government works to people. So they think you just go to Tallahassee and you make things happen. And then they get mad at you when it don't happen. But as elected officials, we have to talk to the people, explain the process. We have to engage the clergy that's talking to a large audience of people every Sunday and give them information. I think the lack of information, you know, there's some of us that are very astute about the political process, but we got to do a better job making the person under the tree more astute about the political process.
Which means that you have to, which means that what you describe actually has to be weekly. What I mean by that is, it's a basic understanding of return to civics. If you studied the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, you could not join Dr. King's SCLC unless you went through Dorothy Cotton's citizenship education training. You literally could not join. You could not participate in a march unless you went through the training. And so if you think about what took place in the Black Freedom Movement, when they pulled black kids out of school protesting racial discrimination, they didn't let them stay home. They had freedom schools. Well, the freedom school concept is still being taught. Mary Wright Edelman's Children's Defense Fund, they still do. They actually do this every summer at Alex Haley's former ranch there in Tennessee. What should be happening, and again, for me, in television, we have a phrase called back timing. So when you think about a television show, we don't build a show from 0 to 60. We build a show from 60 to 0. And so we know right now what the date the election is, the first Tuesday in November. We know that this is July 1st. So we only have 5 months. And so what should be happening all across this state, in cities and counties, is that every week there should be a citizenship education discussion. And thing is, it needs to be streamed, because here's the other piece. We often get mad, man, why are there 30 people here? But if I'm streaming something, I could be reaching thousands because the information is now flowing out. That's first. What also then has to happen is we have to stop saying vote. Vote is the end of a process. I can't vote unless I'm registered. I can't register unless someone explains to me why I'm registered. But then we also have to operate with data. And too often we are operating with emotion and not data. And so when I think about when Andrew Gillum lost as governor of Florida, the Tallahassee Democrat printed the top 15 counties in the state with turnout. You didn't get to a blue county until number 11. It was 57%. Red counties were turning out at 76, 78, and 60%. So what should be happening is, in this city, in this county, in other places, go to the Board of Elections, public data, and literally pull the precinct numbers. And you can pull the precinct data to see how many people in this precinct are registered and how many voted. And you should check 2 stats. Check the gubernatorial, the presidential election, and the last midterm election. And so, and when I was in Ohio, I ran into a brother who's an Alpha, and he said, Brother Martin, he said, man, we're doing voter registration at the Bengals game tomorrow. I said, why? He's like, what do you mean? I said, how many people are you likely going to touch at the Bengals game? But if you go pull the data, and then you can actually see, and it shows you who voted and who didn't. You can literally say, on this Saturday, we're going to hit this precinct, we're going to knock on these doors, and we're going to communicate with these people. I said, if you do that over 5, 6, 7, 8 weekends, you're going to touch more people than you will at the Bengals game. So we are expending a lot of wasted energy. D9, Prince Hall Mason, Eastern Star, Lynx, all of our groups, we have all this capacity, but I think we're wasting our capacity. We're not working smart. We're doing a whole bunch of busy work, and listen, I'm a life member of Alpha. I've said this to Alphas, I've said to AKs and Deltas and Kappas and Omegas and all the D9, but also said to Prince Hall Mason. I said, we have to begin to say, wait a minute, why, if the AKs are doing a GOTV and the Deltas doing a separate one, well then that makes no sense. First of all, do it together, but then do it based upon the data. Go where the low-hanging fruit is, because when you do that, now you can see the result. That's what we're not doing, and so we have to begin to stop operating in our silos, because understand, the Republicans control the House by a total, I need you to understand, a total of 7,000 votes. 7,000 was the difference between them winning the House and Democrats winning the House. 7,000 in several races. Sherry Beasley will be the Chief Justice of the North Carolina Supreme Court had she not lost in 2018 by 401 votes, and you had more than 400,000 African Americans who did not vote. You had 900,000 black people who did not vote in the last gubernatorial election in Georgia. And so when you look, so the capacity is there. The votes are actually there. We simply are not tapping them to drive them to the polls.
So what I'm hearing is there has to be a plan, there has to be some work involved, that people have to get out, and it's time for us to do the work again. I mean, it's interesting to think that...
Since we're in the church, if you want, y'all need biblical, go to Nehemiah. It's literally right there. Nehemiah came up with a plan of action, went to the people. What does Scripture say? The people said, let us rebuild. We are not integrating the people in our rebuilding efforts. Our groups are trying to do it themselves, and the people say, we never see y'all, we got to talk to the people.
So two things, plan, and then we have to work together. All right, I'm going to jump over here to you again, Tracy. AHF is an organization when you just think about AIDS care, and that's really what comes to mind. But I've been working with you guys for a while, and I know you guys in every area of our lives and communities that need to work. Why do you guys think it's important to do things like this and to be out in the communities advocating for things other than just our health? Why is that important for your organization?
Thank you for the question, Norm. First of all, AIDS Healthcare Foundation is a public health organization. I think sometimes, you grow up with names. Everybody in here got a nickname, I'm sure, that they regret, that they family call them when ain't nobody looking. You be like, don't call me that in public. HF is an AIDS service organization.
Y'all call me Uncle Roro, I'm good.
But we are a public health organization because we know that every part of your life affects how you function in the world. If your health is good and your mental health is good, you're going to be better in community, and you're going to be better for your family and those that you love. So AHF tries to look at those things that are pertinent to make people's lives better. Housing. If you're living out on the street, my CEO says all the time, it is unconscionable that we walk past people living on the street. We walk past them. We've gotten so numb to it that it's okay for you to be a homeless person. So, one of the things I love about my child, I don't care where we are, I don't care who it is, if we walk past somebody, he gonna pull $1 out of his pocket. I'd be like, you can't give everybody $1. But for him, that's the least that you can do. It's the least that we can do for our brothers to make sure that they have a home that is not rat infested, that is not roach infested. We care about food. We want you to have healthy food. If you are a person who has to take medication, you need healthy food. And a can of beans ain't gonna do that. So we give away free food. We look at STDs holistically. We're human beings. Human beings do things sometimes that put them in jeopardy. But we're going to treat you with dignity and wholeness and give you all of the information we can to make sure that you can take care of yourself and your family. How do we do that? We have billboards that we put around the city. One of the things that just really shudders me is that the silence around STDs and HIV is so quiet. You see billboards everywhere. Most of the time now when you see billboards, they probably you can attribute them to AIDS Healthcare Foundation, because we know that communication is key. We know that the young people are in their phones 24/7, so we need to get in that phone. We need to be able to share information about how to protect yourself on a daily basis, a weekly basis, a yearly basis. We do events like this one. Kiki Shear is amazing. We love her, right? Kiki Shear is an advocate for community. So we look to people who are advocates to come and share their message and to share our message. So we're a holistic organization. We're in 51 countries and 17 cities, if I get that right. If not, look it up, or somebody tell me I'm wrong. And we have Dr. Curley. How many patients do we have in care right now? 3 million plus and growing.
But Norm, you need to understand public policy. The Trump budget proposes a $1.5 billion cut to domestic HIV prevention, going from more than $1 billion to only $220 million. They've had the massive cuts in USAID, probably the most successful program of President George W. Bush was PEPFAR. That huge difference in slowing down and preventing HIV/AIDS in the continent of Africa. Elon Musk, Donald Trump wiped that out, and it's going to, we already see the studies show that because of what Doge has done, anywhere from 6 to 20 million people have died. These are so-called pro-life folk. 6 to 20 million people have died, and they estimate those numbers are going to explode over the next several years because of what they've done with HIV/AIDS. So, and understand, a nonprofit can only do so much, and what they've done is they've wiped out so much funding in the NGO space, in the nonprofit space. We're talking grants for Black maternal health care. We're talking sickle cell. We're talking cancer. We can go down the line. And then you take that, and then now you put on top of that the anti-DEI impact. You literally have corporations, because this is the first time you've ever seen an occupant of the Oval Office penalize companies, and they are literally, I mean, people, y'all understand, they are literally going through every company's ledger to see all the things that they sponsor. And if they see Black, you got to toss it out. Latino, out. Asian American, out. Gay, out. Women, out. And so you have never seen this level in terms of a wholesale attack on interest. And so our Black nonprofits are struggling. I know some Black nonprofits that have seen 80 to 90% of its funding wiped out. The International African American Museum in Charleston, they have a $6.5 million shortfall. Their entire staff, they're going on furlough, and corporations are telling, and I had the CEO on the show, told her, if y'all could just hold on for 2 more years. That's hoping a Democrat wins in 28. So we have to understand the level of attack is so deep and so pervasive, and it's targeted. It is absolutely an attack, an anti-Black agenda, and too many of us are sleepwalking through this and not understanding how they are hitting it. And what he does, DeSantis does in Florida, Abbott does in Texas, Ivey does in Alabama, Tate Reeves does in Mississippi, Lee does in Tennessee, and it happens in South Carolina and North Carolina. And so we are seeing this, and our response has to be, this has to be the largest Black voter mobilization since the 1965 Voting Rights Act.
So I just want to add the AIDS Healthcare Foundation, because our church has had a 23-year relationship with AIDS Healthcare Foundation, and we're very proud of that relationship. I remember when we were doing our Angels of Hope ministry, and we was looking to do HIV education in our community, and us Black church folk weren't talking about it. We didn't want to hear about it. And AIDS Healthcare Foundation helped us bring Magic Johnson. And that made a shift in the community where people became more open to that. So we've continued to partner with AIDS Healthcare Foundation. We've had our shop done, Yolanda Adams. We've done marches. I participated in an Indaba in Johannesburg and Durban, South Africa with AIDS Healthcare Foundation. What she didn't say is that AIDS Healthcare Foundation also has resources. Now, they made me a little nervous this legislative session because we started the session with the Department of Health giving us a budget that did not include the funding for ADAP. That's our AIDS Drug Assistance Program. Most people that take that medicine can't afford it. The state government has to supplement it. So the Department of Health gives us a budget, and there is no money in the budget for that item. So if you don't have people like myself and other people that understand ADAP that's going to go in there and say, oh, we finna kill a whole bunch of people. The state finna murder people. To sound the alarm as to why it's important that we have to have that money in the budget. AIDS Healthcare Foundation sponsored people and advocates to come to Tallahassee. They also filed a lawsuit that made me a little nervous because, you know, when you sue DeSantis, he's going to retaliate against you. So as time went on, all their contracts got canceled, but we're working on that. But we ended up doing the legislative session. The only budget we passed during our regular time was the money to restore ADAP, and it was a nonpartisan movement. The budget that we just passed fully funds the ADAP program. And I'm saying how important these things is because if people don't have access to their medication, a lot of people are working. You know, people that have HIV now, they're busy living, not busy dying. But these cuts that Roland is talking about is major. The old big brutal bill took away a lot of funding for basic services. So we don't have the funding in the state. So when they say send an appropriation or come to us to get the money, we've already had economists tell us if we don't cut, we're going to be in a deficit in 5 years. That's why you've been seeing the budget that the Senate and the House gave to the governor. He cut it by another $1.6 million. And it's important that you have representation and people that's going to talk across party lines. I don't care if they Democrat, they Republican, NPA, they gonna know about black people in Broward County. If I gotta meet them in the parking lot at their car, if I gotta call them 1 a.m. in the morning, I'm gonna be there raising my voice, fighting for the people in this county. So I had a good appropriation season this year because I got on a lot of people's nerves. They don't want me texting them and calling them. If I'm up at 1 a.m., everybody gonna be up at 1 a.m.
But y'all need to understand, and this is a pet peeve of mine, and this doesn't mean that every black lawmaker is doing what they're supposed to do. But we do ourselves a disservice when I listen to people say, man, the CBC ain't nothing, they ain't done nothing, the black lawmakers haven't done anything. Here's what folk don't understand. Just because you may not pass a lot of bills doesn't mean you don't have impact. People don't really understand, and she can attest to it. A member could literally add one word to a bill or remove something that can completely change it. And so we have to be far more sophisticated. When we are attacking our own, saying they're not doing this, not doing that, I'm a firm believer in holding folk accountable. Look, it's some CBC members that don't like me, and that's because I hold everybody accountable. But we also have to recognize that our black lawmakers are doing things on our behalf that white lawmakers will never do. And so we got to be very careful with our language when we say, and that's when I hear the phrase, well, the black caucus ain't doing nothing. Then when people say, well, I ain't seen nothing from Democrats in 60 years, that's a lie. But it doesn't mean that we don't demand more. Every election, we should be demanding more. That's the whole point. Everybody else is doing it. But when we are attacking the very folk who are representing our interest, we're doing ourselves a disservice, and we're actually aiding and abetting them because they absolutely would love to take her out. They would love to take out other cities. They are attacking. Look right now, the Louisiana versus Calais decision. That decision could lead to the wiping out of 19 Congressional Black Caucus members. Y'all, almost a third. That's going to wipe out state senators. state reps. You're already seeing the Mississippi Supreme Court. That decision is wiping out black representation. And so we need to understand the level of attack and how sophisticated it is.
If I could, thank you for opening the door. I cannot say enough good words about what the advocates in Florida did to help us get ADAP restored. I cannot. It's, you know, my CEO, his name is Michael Weinstein. He came to me, and we are lucky enough to have a mobilization team full-time of folks that work on advocacy issues. A lot of them are in the corner over there that are from all up and down the southern seaboard. And when I tell you they are relentless and you do not want them to show up to your door, it is not a good time when they do. We are blessed to be able to do that work, and we do it underneath the moniker of what we call BLACK, Black Leadership AIDS Crisis Coalition. We are lucky enough to have a CEO that believes in for us, by us. And that group of people, a lot of you are a part of, in addition to our mobilization team, wore DeSantis out.
Good. So, good. So this is what we're going to do. Call to action. One quick statement from everybody, the call to action for this group. Then we'll take maybe one or two questions, because I think everybody's ready for some soul music, some spiritual music. We got to get to the soul. So, call to action. What will you tell this group they need to do collectively, not individually, right now? What can they do individually, collectively, right now?
So right now, we need to be very aggressive about requesting those vote by mail ballots. We need to have a voting plan. We don't know what's going to happen at the poll. You know, in Tallahassee, we have our own election police, and we've never got a job description for them. But we need to request those vote by mail ballots. You need to make sure you're registered. You need to check your status. If you haven't voted in the last 2 years, you can't wait till the last minute. If you don't vote, it's going to be extremely consequential. We can't go back and fix it. I know Joe Scott always say this election is the most important election. When I see what's happening to elderly people with SNAP benefits, Medicaid, and all the games that's being played in Tallahassee, we have to show up at the polls and fight for our community like we've never fought for it before.
I'm going to say something on the tail end of this. For those of you who are not registered, she has somebody outside that'll register you right now, tonight, to vote before you leave, to help you with the identification. So somebody's outside, so there will be no excuses. Roland.
Understand how much untapped power we have. So first and foremost, as an individual, every individual should say, I am going to personally identify and 10 people who are not registered, and make that commitment to say between now and the end of registration, you're going to get them registered. But after that period ends, your next piece has to be, how do I now get them to the polls? And so we should be looking at our churches and creating the same, frankly, black Uber system that they did in Montgomery, to be able to say, we're going to drive folk to the polls. No, we go, you can call, we're going to pick you up and take you there. Because what we're doing is we're hoping people show up. But if you all of a sudden can begin to track how many people are signing up to get taken to the polls, then you have a much better indication of what turnout is going to be. And that last point there, stop having events where you don't collect data. So I'm going to say this, so I'm going to just say this right now, and again, this is not an attack, so, do we have, was it collected, was it data collected of every person that is attending tonight? They registered. Okay, did you get name, address, zip code, cell, email? Okay, the reason you should always be doing that, Bishop William Barber and I talk about this all the time, is that what happens is we have numerous gatherings. We have town halls, we have rallies, we have protests, but we're not collecting data, so we don't even know who's there. So when the event is over, then we need to be able to take the data, parse it, and say, this is how many people came from this zip code, this zip code, this zip code. And so now we need them to show up at the council meeting or the school board meeting or the state capitol. We already have the data, and now we can hit them, as opposed to now trying to reconvene to get them to come out. And so we have to be moving and operating that way in order to drive our people to be able to drive our agenda.
One of the things I got from the young people, and it was something that hit me like a ton of bricks, is that each and every one of us in the room has a brand. You know, we think of influencers and we think of the Real Housewives or whatever you watch.
Oh.
Everybody in the room has a brand. And because you are a brand, you know, we spend a lot of time, even the older, the most seasoned folks like me, I know a lot of folks looking at TikTok. I know a lot of folks looking at Instagram, whatever it look at. Use your platform to make sure that where you stand, because we think about, you know, I'm not I'm not a basketball player, I'm not a journalist, you know, or I'm not a politician. I'm just me. But you are incredibly important to everybody. If you weren't important, they wouldn't be trying to take your vote. They wouldn't be trying to take your life. They wouldn't be trying to minimize you. You are important. So use your platform. Tell people, you know, did you vote today? Hey, good morning, love. Did you vote today? Use your social media from your standpoint, from your place in the universe, to tell everybody the importance of what you think.
And Norm, real quick, so you take the church. If this church says, we've already designed the graphics, we've already typed the text, all you gotta do is download it, copy and paste, and share it. The point that Tracy just made is so crucial. We've got 2 million YouTube subscribers. You may not have 2 million, but if you take the collective number of people, you do. And yes, young folks are on TikTok and Instagram, but the largest platform is still Facebook. And so, again, if we're sharing the same information, see, I just don't believe in doing extra work. If you say, we've got these 4 or 5 graphics already designed, these are the memes that show cuts by Florida Republicans, cuts by DeSantis. Now, share that on all your social media platforms. All you're doing is copy and pasting. And so that's how you also maximize the collective and not the individual.
Okay, so at this time, give him a hand, give him a hand. We're gonna open it up for a couple of questions, but this would be my one thing I'll say. So, Reverend, this is what I'll say here today. I would pay for 2 buses to take people to vote. So if you guys talk to Anita, I'll pay for your first 2 buses to bus people to vote. So they know how to get in touch with me. So the first 2 buses will be on me to take people out to vote.
I'm going to hold you to that. I'm going to call you at 1 a.m. in the morning.
I know you will.
No.
I'm going to put Debbie on you.
Y'all better make sure it's the large bus, not the small bus. See, y'all got to specify.
The small bus. No.
They are different buses.
I'm going to order the large bus. I got all these witnesses before the Lord that you said it.
And make sure it got air conditioning.
I didn't say all of that, but 2 buses.
See, I'm trying to specify. See?
School bus. One of those yellow school buses. No.
Now this Mount Olive now, baby. We don't want no school buses now. We got to have the best.
But you send your kids on them. You send your kids on school buses?
They have air conditioning.
Okay, we get an air-conditioned school bus. Okay.
Make sure it's a black-owned bus company.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the second thing.
Yeah, that's the part of the way we operate here at New Mount Olive.
Okay.
We have an incredible leader. We already there.
We got to get some questions. We got to get off stage. They want to hear a concert. Okay. They will bring microphones to you. So if you have some questions, there's some mics out in the audience. So if you have a couple of questions before we shut this down.
Hold the microphone, baby. You hold the microphone. Don't y'all touch the microphone. She got it.
My name is Sandra Ford, and I'm the Texas mobilizer. My question is, why do we wait until the last day to go get in line to vote? When all those days early vote, like in Texas, the lieutenant governor shut down the early voting because there was so many people left to vote. So why do we wait until the very last day, people? We got to get better. Because most of those people that got turned away, they look like us.
So Bishop Barber literally said, we were talking just the other day, he said if we're going to organize marches to the polls. The data shows, the reason they targeted black people in North Carolina, the data showed that 70% of African Americans in North Carolina voted in the first 2 weeks of early voting. That's what the Republicans targeted. So we have to change actually our mobilization to early voting. See, again, we keep hoping folks show up. Our messaging has to change to drive early.
I'll say this too, and I think they did it here in Florida. You used to have 14 days, now it's 8 days, and then they say you can't vote the Sunday before the election. So Rev, your job, you got to get them there before that Sunday, but early to make sure they vote.
So in Broward County, we have an incredible supervisor of election by the name of Mr. Joe Scott, and he reads and pushes the rules. So we will have additional early voting sites this voting cycle. Although they cut the days, you will have more sites that you can do early voting. If you request those vote by mail ballots and you don't want to mail them, you can take them to one of those early voting sites and drop them off. And Mr. Scott does an excellent job. He's all over everywhere sharing the information, but he will have that information out about these early voting sites and additional ones that he's added. And again, if you're not registered to vote, he has his staff out in the lobby if you need to check your voting status, you change your driver's license numbers. Do not leave here tonight without taking this action, because you put it off, you're not going to do it.
And even if you think that you're registered, double check if you had an address change, because again, we get people assume on that particular point, and that's where they get caught. And remember, when they say it's all right, you can fill out provisional ballot. No, the provisional ballots are only counted when it comes to a certain margin. Don't fall for provisional ballot. Double check. I register to vote every year. Y'all ain't messing my stuff up in Texas. So it's like, I don't want to hear no. Because again, you also may have been removed from the ballot and you didn't realize it.
And you can check outside. You can check outside. No excuse for this ordinance. You can check outside. Question.
Hi. Hello. Okay. Hi, my name is Brianna Bruna, and my question to you all is, what platforms do you individually utilize for accurate political information? I think we often hear fake news.
Easy. Roland Martin Unfiltered. What you talking about? It's only one you should be watching.
You got that right.
She don't ask what platform I listen to. Me.
And I will also add that your elected officials oftentimes have accurate information. There's a lot of stuff on social media that's just not true. It didn't happen. It's just spinning. But whoever you vote for, you should be able to get factual information from them. They should be sending you e-blasts. They should be posting on social media. That is your connection for questions and accurate information.
And let me just help you. We break the clips up. So understand, no one is watching, very few people are watching the full 2-hour show. What you can do, and this is again how you use the collective to drive information. This is why I was talking about the graphics and the memes. What you can do is download those clips and then reshare. I don't play that. If you lie, you're going to get busted. This is not being arrogant or cocky, but literally, there is nobody else that does a 5-day-a-week show that specifically centers black people. And so we are completely about those facts. And part of the problem is, and understand, we are targeted for misinformation. In the 2020 election, 2016 and 2020, when they discussed the largest Black Lives Matter Facebook page was a Russian troll farm. We have to understand that Iran, North Korea, China, Russia, they know how to drive misinformation. So a lot of the people you're communicating with on social media, those are bots. Those are not real. And so we have to listen to credible sources and then reshare that information to drive our people and infiltrate the algorithm, because the algorithm is designed for you to own, it is designed to drive you with rage. We have to reverse that, and then we have to completely flood it with real, credible information.
If I could, y'all tell me in Florida, if you see a puddle of water and you stick your hand in it, you should expect a gator to be in it. If you're looking on social media, you should expect to be targeted with misinformation. So make sure, especially to young folks, make sure you look at multiple sources. I tell young people that all the time. Trusted sources, you find them, like Roland, that's fine, but use multiple sources. Just don't look at one.
And just real quickly, we want to Roland's point that you all know, we collected the data. That's why we were asking you to register. It wasn't just to make sure you were here in the room, but so that it can then be used for mobilization and for making sure that we do the work that we need to do to work with the faith institutions here to get folks to the polls and see what the resources are needed.
And Norm gonna buy those 2 buses.
That's right. You got that.
Good evening, everyone. Dr. Osgood, everyone on the panel, Mr. Martin, definitely I watch your show. I just wanted to say I'm grateful to be here today in regards to everything that is taking place here in Broward County, as I'm an advocate for mental health for juveniles in Broward County, youth and family support services, as well as I'm a community health worker. So what I've experienced here in Broward County is that there's a reincarceration rate so high in Broward County, and I'm trying to see how, this is why the voting process is important as well, to try and alleviate a lot of the process when it comes to our youth getting into some of the habits of meeting certain friends and under certain criteria when it comes to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, as to why when it comes to our food and our nutritionist services that's being limited in Broward County, our kids find themselves trying to meet their needs on their own, meeting with certain friends, and they're getting themselves into a lot of trouble. And so as we hear the conversation that was recently had about the prison taking our children and reincarcerating them and putting them in the prison to get that, I forget how the gentleman put it, but basically making our children turn into the new prison inmates to actually work for the prison. And so that's one thing that I think that needs to be spoken about as far as the voting process as well when it comes to our community in Broward County, because we're thinking that they're just kids and they're getting into trouble, but it's another way that we can go about it, because they use Maslow's hierarchy of needs in the juvenile justice system to actually keep our kids reincarcerating.
You know, if I can just, one of my projects that I've been working on for 4 years, there is a deplorable Broward County Juvenile Detention Center when our kids are arrested, where they keep them right over here off of 595 when you're going around to the Tri-Rail. So one of my appropriations this year is I got $20 million to tear that place down and rebuild it. If you put anybody in that place, it's going to make them an animal.
Who oversees that?
The state.
Got it. So it's not county, that's state.
The county runs it, but we have the jurisdiction over it. And it's up to us when we take these kids in custody that we really integrate them into society, that we don't put them in deplorable, disgusting facilities like they're animals, and then they get out.
Well, that's the whole point. But so if the county runs it, who in the county runs it?
The state runs it.
That's right.
Yeah, the state runs it.
The state runs the facility, not the county. Got it.
It's under our jurisdiction. And many people don't know that. When the kids get locked up, we just say they bad and we just let them go be locked up. We have to pay attention to what's going on with our babies. How many of them are being tried as adults? How many of them are being rearrested for just behavior problems, not criminal problems. And these are real live issues that we are dealing with. I'm not going to rest until I get that facility rebuilt. I wouldn't want any kid in such deplorable place as that place.
See, that's why down ballot matters the most. This is where, see, we voted the highest at presidential, then governor, then United States Senator. What we understand is that progressives finally learned this in the last 10 to 12 years. Anytime we had discussions on mass incarceration, folks were going to D.C. or to the state capitol, not realizing that the most important person when it comes to mass incarceration is the district attorney. The second most important is the judge. And so if you have judicial candidates that have alternative sentencing initiatives and DAs who understand that, that's the case. And so we have to be mindful of that. If you care about mass incarceration, whoever is the district attorney, that is the most critical person, because they decide whether to prosecute, what sentence, what charges to go after, and then even if they're convicted, what sentence they recommend. And a lot of us don't vote in those races, and then we're wondering why the problem stays the same.
We have a program at AIDS Healthcare Foundation called Food for Health. We actually distribute fresh food on a daily basis out of our location on at 700 Southeast. So please come visit us if you are in the need of food. It's called Food for Health.
Do y'all have the capacity to distribute that food on Sis Trunk? Because I got a location on Sis Trunk. I can help y'all get rid of some more food there.
Give us a call. Okay. You can find us on the website.
All right.
Yes, see, networking. This is networking.
Yes. Good evening. I am a proud member.
Girl, put your hand down. We got you.
I'm a proud member of Mount Olive Baptist Church. Proud active member.
Can you move the mic right in front of her mouth so we can hear it? There we go.
Should I start over?
Like right in front. Like right in front.
Anyway, I am a proud member of Mount Olive Baptist Church, a proud member of the Mount Olive Hospitality Ministry. And one of the reasons I asked to stand up, but also very active activities here at this church that actually promotes voting. If you look at your fan, there is information there about their primary election, August 18, 2026, and the deadline for voters registration and party changes in July of 2026. July 20th, 2026. Early voting periods, August 8th through August 16th. General election is November 3rd. The deadline for the new voter registrations, October 5th, 2026. Early voting period, October 19th through November 1st.
So here's what you do. Okay, who has a fan? Raise your hand. No. It's real simple. Take your phone out.
Take a picture.
Take a picture of your fan. Post that on all your social media. That's all you gotta do. Matter of fact, I gotta bring me a fan. Y'all just say hard. No, that's not rhetorical. Bring me a fan. See, part of the problem is when we give instructions, we wait, and then when we get home and we forget, and then it's like, man, oh my God, dog, I forgot, and the deadline is passed. All right, go on next point so I can take this picture.
I'm here to inform everybody that the supervisor of election has a new resource that we can all use. And that resource is a QR code. So if you want to verify if your registration is legit, and if you have a question, you're talking to a young person in your community, and you just show them, take out your cell phone, and let them, they can absolutely register while they're riding a bicycle down Sis Trunk. Okay? simply by using the QR code. That is a resource which is available 24/7, and you can verify. Don't disqualify yourself. We have a lot of people, the first thing they say, hey, I got time on the book. Don't, it's not your responsibility to police that.
Where's the QR code?
It's with the supervisor. I have one in my car. I did not
go to your car.
I'll come back.
Go to your problem. Go to your car.
It's not a problem.
You can't have a QR code in your car and tell us have a QR code and you ain't got it.
Well,
give her the microphone back. Hold up, let's go. Is it right on the fan? Is it the same QR code? There you go.
All right then.
We got it.
Okay then. All right. Well, I just want to inform a lot of people because I don't hear it come up in conversation enough. Seriously, I don't hear it come up enough. And we have a lot of
I'm going to see if your QR code works.
To go ahead on. Please, I invite you.
Well, good evening. I'm Dale Holness, former mayor of Broward County, candidate for U.S. Congress, District 20. And thank you, Newmont Olive Baptist Church, Dr. Oscar, Dr. Davis. Give them a great round of applause. Panelists, this is what we must do and do more of. Question I have is thoughts on voting by mail. I think it's, in my mind, the easiest, the best way to do it if you turn it in on time. That's one. Dr. Osgood, thank you for the $20 million. I sat on the Juvenile Justice Board with President Marsha Ellison of the NAACP for all the time I was at the county. And we fought hard to get the state to do what was right. It's great that you did it finally. And in terms of our young people being incarcerated, I was able to pass the Juvenile Justice Restoration Board, Juvenile Civil Citation Program in Broward County. But here's a challenge. The police department are not utilizing that tool. That tool for minor offensive is that a young person gets a ticket, a citation. They go through a program run by Broward County, and they don't have a record once they complete it. So I would recommend you talk to your city police departments and push them to make sure that they're doing what's right for our children. Coconut Creek and Davie were the two that most likely not utilize that program. Please, thank you so much for all you do here.
Well, I'll say this. We're talking about youth incarceration. I mean, that's a little deeper than just being targeted. That means opportunities. That means our school systems, school boards, we have to vote down ballot, creating opportunities for our young kids, support each other's businesses in this room, supporting each other's businesses. It's a lot that goes into why our kids get in trouble and why we're incarcerated at such a higher rate. But there are things that we all can do. Like I say, show them support, create programs like you have at this church. But we have to support our youth. Was that another question? About two more questions, I think we're going to... How much?
Right here.
Okay, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. My question is in conjunction with the voting. I just received an email 6 days ago. Hi, Katrina. Your vote by mail request has expired. But it does not tell me when I have to do it. All it says is now. Now, the date's on the fan, the QR codes. Why isn't it telling us what date that we need to get in to have this done by?
So if it's expired, the time you saw that word, you should have responded. You can go to browardvotes.gov and renew it. We don't have time. If you get emails saying anything with your voting is expired and it's not appropriate or correct, you need to address it right then, right there. We must be in a sense of urgency to make sure that when it comes time to vote, we are eligible to vote. So that notice was to inform you, because Florida, we have our own laws now. You used to could request your vote by mail ballot and you just would get it. So now you have to request it every election cycle. And because Mr. Joe Scott is our supervisor of election, he's now notifying people who have not re-requested their vote by mail ballot. So we have to respond to his notification by requesting that vote by mail ballot.
And can we do that tonight?
You can do it right on your phone. You can sit down, and if you don't want to use the QR code, you can go to www.browardvotes.gov, vote by mail, and it'll take you through the process. It'll take you like 3 minutes.
Okay. And Tracy, I'd like to...
Or you can go out front to the front desk if you need some hands-on, and Benji Williams is out there. You can actually walk out there right now before the line if you want to have somebody escort her out there. Mr. Benji Williams is out there, and he can get you in and out before a line even get out the desk.
And they're counting on you not being proactive. So we're going to take 3 more questions, and that's going to be it.
I'm Reverend Henry E. Green III. I'm the pastor of Mount Hermon AME Church, the other church on this block. I consider myself to be an affiliate member of Mount Olive. I love it over here. And we praise God for the pastor. One of the down ballot issues that I think is very important to all of us in Florida that we should be having intergenerational discussions about is the property tax issue. There are a lot of discussions not being had, and we fall out on the Democrat, Republican side. We fall out as to whether the validity of the Divine Nine and all these other things people renouncing. But the property tax will affect all of us indefinitely. It will put an impact on whether millennials and Gen Z has the opportunity to buy homes and whether we have the services that property taxes cover. And so this church has been very good about educating people on that, but our discussions need to involve everybody about how that will affect us in Florida.
So, Pastor Trey, on September 2nd, we will host the property tax forum here with Marty Keir, our property appraiser, to give us factual information. I will be going diligently through the ballot amendment, and I'm going to challenge you to get me some young people to participate. And I don't want you to just come, and I want you to bring the whole Mount Hermon, because you know, at Mount Olive, we welcome everybody here. But we continue to do those forums and have those discussions, and we are a community church. Our church is a beacon of light in this community. We respect all the churches. Our pastor has charged us to work with all of the churches. So if you're not a member of this church, you're welcome to come here anytime. You know, you come on Sunday, you hear that preacher, you might want to stay. But our doors are open to you for you to come here and get this information, or invite us to come to your church. We want to share this information. This property tax issue, we can't get into it tonight, but it's going to be so critical that we understand what we're voting, that we understand the trick in the ballot language that was passed in Tallahassee. You're not duped into making a vote that's going to cause you a major consequence later on.
Okay. Good evening. Thank you. My name is Bobby Henry, publisher of the West Side Gazette, and that's Broward County's. My thoughts are not necessarily a question, but Roland, you mentioned the fact that when you go on Facebook or use other social media, you're probably dealing with something that's not real. So my focus is to remind you to use your trusted owned media. Black people owned media, not just newspapers. We do podcasts, we have the capability of doing all that. So please support it. I could go another way and talk about AHF, but I won't. Because sometimes we put out misinformation and we use media and pay for some other media. And to the brother who said something about riding down 6th Trump and you're on your bicycle using a phone to do something, man, you'll kill somebody. Don't do that. Quit putting out misinformation. This is serious.
But I will say this. I will say this that needs to be said to what Bobby said, and I really need our folks to understand. We are facing a crisis in Black America, in that we have lost so many Black-owned media institutions that we will rue the day when we have to ask somebody else to tell our story. And let me be real clear. A lot of us also got to confront our issues when it comes to white validation. That there are many of us.
What you say?
I ain't got a problem saying it. There are many of us who will run, and this includes elected officials, this includes CEOs and others. We will run to CNN and MS Now. We will watch them and then beg them to cover us if they don't show up. If you are not subscribing to your local black newspaper, if you are not ensuring that institutions are advertising with black-owned media, because understand that's how we survive and thrive. You also, what I have been saying to black elected officials is they've got to be far more aggressive in demanding that the party spends money with black-owned media, because you have to understand, you're going to see anywhere from $9 to $12 billion spent by November. And when you look at the numbers, black-owned media gets anywhere from 0.5 to 1% of those billions. And so all other media companies, Comcast, Disney, Sinclair, Nexstar, iHeart, Cumulus, Odyssey, all those companies, they bank on their profits going up during the election year. And then we're left to given a crumb, and then we're supposed to act like it's a meal. And so that's another piece there that we have to recognize. And the last point, black preachers in this room, when you're a preacher, stand up. If you're a preacher, stand up. Do not let a politician come into your pulpit if they are paying white staffers but asking black folks to volunteer. We cannot operate as sharecroppers, tilling the soil while other folk get paid, and then when they lose, we get blamed for our turnout. We have to understand that politics is also a business, and there are folk who are becoming millionaires from politics, and they do not look like us.
Billionaires. Billionaires, Roland.
So good evening. Good evening. Thank you for the panel and all my brothers and sisters here. I just have a comment. We're talking about absentee ballots. Yes, they're great. Yes, we need to not sit on them, wait at the last day, because I'm the one, I receive them. I'm not here representing the United States Postal Service, but I do work for the United States Postal Service. I do receive them. So two things. We must sign the back of the voters, your absentee ballot. There's two signatures. One at the top where you're going to print your name, and one at the bottom where you're going to sign your name, your signature. And then two, do not wait on the last day of election to turn in your absentee ballot. Yes, we do our best to get those ballots to the sites, but if you get an early ballot, go ahead and fill it out. Help your seasoned seniors to help fill those ballots out. Do not wait on the last day to mail them out. Put them in your mailbox. And then two, number one, like I said, you don't have signatures on them, and then you wait on the last day to turn them in. So that's my comment.
Does the law here allow you to do that? And the reason I'm saying some states are different in terms of who is allowed to help you fill an absentee ballot out.
So now you're not supposed to be helping people. You can kind of instruct them and guide them. And you're only allowed to pick up 2 ballots from your immediate family. The laws here are horrific. So if you're not a third-party voters registration organization and you're helping people register to vote, your organization can be fined anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000. So we want to encourage, we want to do what we need to do to help people, but those laws are there for a reason. And you have, again, I'm going to go back to the election police, that as a legislator, I still haven't gotten a job description. They got money for uniforms. I don't know if that uniform is a suit or something to identify them. But they're out in the community, they're out at the polls, they're coming up and talking to you. You have no reason who they are. So make sure that you're clear on the laws. We continue to educate, talk about those laws. If you have a question, reach out so we can help answer. But what she's saying about that signature is important, because if you don't have those 2 signatures, then they cannot count your vote and you don't have time to go sign it or to cure it.
All right, last question for real. Right here.
Thank you very much, Norm. I give honor to this ministry for doing such a fantastic job. My name is John Wiggins. I'm the president of the brand new independent television network here in South Florida. Hey! From West Palm Beach to Homestead, WDFL 18. Download it on your app now because we are going to be unapologetically black-owned and operated. We want to get the message out. Senator Osgood, we want to get the message out so South Florida dominates this election. Thank you, Roland. I love you, brother. You're doing a fantastic job. I listen to you. I want you on my network, too.
All right. First, let's give a shout out.
I ain't cheap. In the words of Frank Lucas in American Gangster, I'm going to get that money.
Oh, shameless plug, shameless plug. Hey, listen up. Hold up. We're going to cut this off. First, I think they want to give a big shout out to Westside Gazette for their support. I think if you look at the back side of your papers, you'll see it on there. But I'm going to protect the brother a little bit. He didn't mean for you to take that literally, ride your bike and, fill it out. He didn't mean it literally. He wasn't going to kill anybody. Let's give the panel a round of applause. I thought it was wonderful. A lot of information. I expect this precinct, this church, to turn it out because everybody's going to bring 10 people. I'm going to pay for 2 buses.
Large buses.
We're air conditioning.
Big buses.
We're air conditioning. And everybody's going to bring 10 people. Roland is going to go out back and sign some books. He brought his book, another shameless plug, but it's okay. It's cool. It's Roland Martin. His book after the concert. So he got to stay for the concert now. After the concert. So please stick around, loosen up for a second. We're going to have a great concert. But let's give this panel a great hand. As I said, I learn something every time I do it. And again, thank you guys for having me down. It's always my pleasure to come around and host these things. It's such a great learning experience.